says like there. Three people here already. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming on what is probably the shortest notice I've ever given for a Swiss Reads. So you guys are on the ball. How's it sound out there? Thumbs up for can you hear me okay? Or does the thumbs up work? No. Maybe you got to just say it in chat if you do a chat. But before I start, specifically, g'day Bruce. How you doing, mate? Bruce has been hanging in chat here for probably a lot longer than he needed to have been, but was in there quick. Said hello, which I really appreciate. So I'm going to give it a few moments to let the people figure it out, as it's all of a sudden thing for a lot of people. Let's see if I can do this without knocking the computer down. Nice to have a Caucasian on an evening of Dr. Zeus. So good morning, good afternoon. It might be Selamat pagi. No, Selamat malam, perhaps. Good evening, good morning, I've already said. And g'day, Bruce. G'day. Last time I had read through the quintessential and my only hardcover over there, the good old Green Eggs and Ham. And we got to the choice of a couple of other stories afterwards to read quickly. And in the end, we turn the bright lights up. The bright lights. Oh. Maybe we should turn the bright lights down. No, that's the wrong way. Thank you for standing by. Second thumbs up. Hey T, how you doing, gorgeous? So as I was saying, in the end, Walk It In My Pocket won the chat room argument over a few seconds time. And a promise was made that Yertle the Turtle would be the next one that I read. So here I am, fulfilling the promise as promised to read Yertle the Turtle. And being that it does contain other stories, as said on the cover, Yertle the Turtle is definitely not the only story we're going to have tonight. I think there's the very, very, very likely that I think there was maybe two other stories in here at least. At least one. There's one other story in here that hasn't been read. So in a couple of moments, we'll get started on Yertle the Turtle and continue with another story. Get myself comfortable. Sit up straight. Check your posture. For all those people who are sitting down too much at the moment, check your posture. And I think it's a pretty good time now to start with Yertle the Turtle by Dr. Zeus, of course. So the Yertle the Turtle and other stories. I think someone mentioned that I should mention the book number, because it's a book that I'm reading, which is ISBN 1717588, just for those keeping track. This book is for the Bartletts of Norwich, Vermont, I'm guessing. BT, maybe? Vermont. And for the Sage Masters of Cincinnati, Ohio. I can tell that much. Here we go. Yertle the Turtle. On the faraway island of Salamasond, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean, it was neat. The water was warm, there was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy. Quite happy, indeed. There we go. There's some happy looking turtles. There were, until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. "I'm ruler," said Yertle, "of all that I see. But I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. With this stone for a throne, I look down on my pond. But I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. I ought to be higher," he said with a frown. "If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king! I'd be ruler of all that I see." He's pretty grand. He's got some thinking face on. So Yertle, the Turtle King, lifted his hand, and Yertle, the Turtle King, gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on another's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view! He could see most a mile. He's getting up again. Well, he seems pretty content. Turtles underneath are all okay. Well, ending up that second to last one. He's going to be doing some hard slogging. "All mine," Yertle cried. "All the things I now rule. I'm king of a cow, and I'm king of a mule, king of a house, and what's more beyond that, I'm king of a blueberry bush and a car. I'm Yertle the Turtle, a marvelous me, for I am ruler of all that I see." He's feeling a bit mighty, isn't he? I wish he doesn't get carried away. Okay. Pretty good view, really, from there. Ooh, that second one's next. I don't like it. And all through that morning, he sat there up high, saying over and over, "A great king am I," until round about noon, he heard a faint sigh, "What's that?" snapped the king, and he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac, just part of his throne, and this plain little turtle looked up and he said, "Beg your pardon, King Yertle. I've pains in my back, and my shoulders and knees. How long must me stand here, your majesty, please?" Oh, Mac. Down there. On top of his bottom of his stack. I was worried about that second guy there, but I think I'm most worried about second from the top there. Why is he taking the weight on his head? Take it on the shell weight. "Silence!" the king of the turtles barked back. "I'm king, and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm the king of the cow, and I'm the king of a mule, and the king of a house, and a bush, and a cat. But isn't it all? I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher," his royal voice thundered. "So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. Oh, goodness. Very high-pitched thing. Probably, sadly, the laptop and the microphone being too close. Let me try that. Has that changed at all? "Turtles! More turtles!" he bellowed and brayed. And the turtles way down in the pool were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed. From all over the pond they came swimming by dozens. Whole families of turtles, with uncles and cousins. And all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another, they climbed up the stack. Oh, poor Mac. Oh, is anyone else getting a high-pitched thing? Is that a problem? I wonder what it might be. Has that fixed it? Fingers crossed, I think that's fixed it. I think it was a feedback loop that I'd left. Then, Yertle the Turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. "Hooray!" shouted Yertle. "I'm king of the trees, I'm king of the birds, and I'm king of the bees. I'm the king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle the Turtle, a marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see." Ooh, there's a Bit of structural work happening down there. Is that ballast or is that movement or the impact of the bird? Then again, from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan from that plain little turtle named Mac. Your Majesty, please, I don't like to complain, but down in here below, I'm feeling great pain. I know up on top, you're seeing great sights, but down here, at the bottom, we, too, should have rights. You hush up your mouth, howled mighty King Yertle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no, nothing higher than me. And he's very hard to do, isn't he? If they've moved off his other one's poor neck, I hope maybe he's down the bottom as well. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise. Up over his head in the darkening skies. What's that? Snorted Yertle. What is that thing? That dares to be higher than Yertle the King. I shall not allow it. I go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack 'em to heaven. I need about 5,607. Not sure. Unplug those to be sure. That's about all I can think of that might create feedback. Here we go. But as Yertle, the Turtle King, lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle, whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little turtle lad got a little bit mad. And that plain little turtle Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, burp, and his burp shook the throne of a king. Burp. Oh. And Yertle the Turtle, the king of the trees, and the king of the air, and the birds, and the bees, and the king of a house, and a cow, and a mule. Well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule. For Yertle the Turtle, king of all Salamasond, fell off his high throne and fell plump in the pond. That's quite the high dive. And today, the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is the king of the mud. That is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, the turtles are free, as the turtles, and maybe all creatures should be. Free the turtles. Yes. There's Yertle, not even on a stone anymore. That's probably Mac. It must be the laptop, which is obviously too close to the microphone. Oh. This is a new experience because I moved this microphone from being mounted there, okay, this way, to mounting it over there. It comes in this way. And so far, I think it's not working very well. If I put it there, does that sound better in regards to that fan noise? How is it now, Rose? No. Well, sadly, that must mean it's only the laptop. Give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how I can resolve that without doing some large amounts of movement. Is it really bad, or is it fight on for another story? Thank you, Stephen. So it's worse out here. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I've been doing this wrong. If I go, hey, live internet, everyone. And as I do this, way over here, maybe, just maybe, as my computer struggles to cope. Okay. Mind your ears, everyone, as this is going to go with just a bit. Oh, how is that now, everybody? Sorry, don't interrupt the conversation. Caucasian. Sounding better? terrible. Wow. Maybe I have to dial this down a bit. And bring it in closer. How is that? Has that improved it? But it's still there. Wow. Oh, headphones time. Well, the question is, oh, that's I can't hear that. It's not plugged in. That unplugged it earlier. I think it was that. Trying that. Oh yes, I hear it. And with that all the way down, if I bring this up here, is that okay? I think I can do this. This is important testing to do. So I might have been lazy before. Just bracket on the back. How's that there? I need that closer, don't I? How does that sound? No, it's getting in the way. That can go elsewhere. This can come up. I just need to be clear. I feel like that's probably the best version of this I can do before I figure out why my laptop is so loud. But how's that for everybody now? Yeah, there may be people with opinions about cutting beards. They can have them. Okay. All right. So, from earlier readings, I had read Gertrude the Fuzz. Pitched so and had this time. Oh, an earthing problem. I've got to do 48 through that. I have one more idea. Hold on. Has that anything at all? Cooking, waking, praying, typing, tapping on glass, probably. Yes, so last time, pardon me, last time I had read from the other stories, Gertrude and Fuzz. So this time, it's going to be the big brag. Actually. Good. Something. Is that gone dark, you guys? Goodness, it's been a strange night of headphones away and just getting here. So, the big brag. The rabbit felt mighty important that day. On top of the hill in the sun where he lay, he felt so important up there on that hill. He started to brag as animals will. And he boasted out loud as he threw out his chest. All of these beasts in the world, I'm the best. On land and on sea, even up in the sky. No animal lives who is better than I. Pretty lackadaisical up on his hill. What's that? Growled a voice that was incredibly gruff. Now, why do you say such ridiculous stuff? The rabbit looked down and saw a big bear. I'm the best of all beasts, said the bear. I'm the best of all beasts, said the bear. And so there. Odd argument to start having. Okay. Animals will argue about odd things. You're not, snapped the rabbit. I'm better than you. Pooh, the bear snorted. Again, I say pooh. Your talk might be big, Mr. Rabbit, that's true. But how can you prove it? Just what can you do? Thought the rabbit. Now what can I do? He thought, and he thought, and he finally said, Mr. Bear, do you see these 2 ears on my head? My ears are so keen, and so sharp, and so fine. No ears in the world can hear farther than mine. Quite a little face-to-face going on there. The bear grunted. He looked at each ear. You say they are good, the bear said with a sneer. But how do I know just how far they can hear? I'll prove, said the rabbit. My ears are the best. You sit there and watch me. I'll prove it by test. He stiffened his ears till they both stood up high. He pointed straight up at the blue of the sky. He stretched his ears open as wide as he could. Shh, I'm listening, he said as he stood. He listened so hard that he started to sweat. The fur on his ears and his forehead got wet. There's the text. You can probably hear it playing outside now. Maybe not. Maybe I fixed it. For 7 long minutes he stood. Then he stirred. And he said to the bear, do you know what I heard? Do you see that far mountain? It's 90 miles off. There's a fly on that mountain. I just heard him cough. Now the cough of a fly, sir, is quite hard to hear. When he's 90 miles off, I heard him quite clear. So you see, bragged the rabbit, it's perfectly true that my ears are the best. So I'm better than you. Far, far mountain. Oh, no trees in there. The bear, for a moment, just sulked as he sat, for he knew that his ears couldn't hear things like that. He's the rabbit, he thought, made a fool out of me. Now I've got to prove that I'm better than he. So he said to the rabbit, you hear pretty well. You can hear 90 miles, but how far can you smell? I'm the greatest of smellers, he bragged. See my nose? This nose on my face is the finest that grows. My nose can smell anything, both far and near. With my nose, I can smell twice as far as you hear. Try not for too long, doesn't it, down to that. You can't, snapped the rabbit. I can, growled the bear, and he stuck his big nose way up high in the air. He wiggled that nose, and he sniffed, and he snuffed, and he waggled that nose, and he whiffed, and he waffed. For more than 10 minutes, he'd sniff, and he'd snuff. Then he'd said to the rabbit, I've smelled far enough. All right, said the rabbit. Come on now, tell exactly how far is the smell that you smell? Oh, I'm smelling a very far smell, said the bear, and the past that fly on the mountain out there. I'm smelling many great mountains beyond. 600 miles more to the edge of a pond. That's a well far off. And way, way out there, by the pond you can't see, is a very small farm. On that farm is a tree. The tree is a branch, and the branch is a nest. A very small nest where two tiny eggs rest. 2 hummingbird eggs, only half an inch long. But my nose, said the bear, is so wonderfully strong. My nose is so good that I smelled without fail that the egg to the left is a little bit stale. And that thing is a thing no rabbit can do. So you see, the bear boasted, I'm better than you. My smell is so keen that it just can't be beat. Over the mountains. There you go. What's the next? What's that? Called a voice from way down by his feet. And the bear and the rabbit looked down at the sound, and they saw an old worm crawling out of the ground. Now, boys, said the worm, you've been bragging a lot. You both think you're great, but I think that you're not. You're not half as good as a fellow like me. You can hear and you can smell, but how far can you see? Now, I'm here to prove to you big boasting guys that your nose and your ears aren't as good as my eyes. Popped out of the ground. Now the little old worm cocked his head to one side, and he opened up his eyes, and he opened them wide. And they looked far away with a strange sort of stare, as if they were burning two holes in the air. The eyes of that worm almost popped out of his head. He stared half an hour till his eyelids got red. That's enough, growled the bear. Tell the rabbit and me. How far did you look? And just what did you see? That's quite a look. Well, boys, the worm answered, that look that I took was a look that looked further than you'll ever look. I looked across the ocean, way out to Japan, for I can see farther than anyone can. There's no one on earth who has eyesight that's finer. I've looked past Japan, and I've looked across China. I looked across Egypt and took a quick glance across two countries of Holland and France. Then I looked across England and also Brazil. But I didn't stop there. I looked farther still. A long way. And I kept right on looking, and looking until I looked round the world and right back to this hill. And I saw on this hill, since my eyesight's so keen, the two biggest fools that have ever been seen. And the fools that I saw were none other than you, but who seem to have nothing else better to do than to sit here and argue who's better than who. And the little old worm gave his head a small jerk, and then he dived into his hole and went back to his work. That's looking a bit foolish. And there you go. Completing both Yertle the Turtle and the other stories. So, great things were finally done. Question is, does anybody, was there any improvement partway through as I turned monitors off? Did that help anyone? Oh, I needed to be higher. Changing things on the fly, live internet. How is everybody doing? 47 minutes, goodness me. I think that might be called waffling on for some people. So thank you for the number of you who both came and then stayed. And a special thanks to anyone who joined in partway and is still here, and especially to my mother. Good evening, Mum. I love you. And I'm going to give it to that. Thank you, everybody. The dudes. And remembering 2 buttons to end things. Not yet. End.